Yes, people, Manscaped is back, but this time it's not for below the belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of gradient settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be around the world. Big up to all of you for being here so early. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. Had some technical issues, but we're all good now. Big up to all of you. Make sure you do me a favor. Please put a like on this video and subscribe if you are new. We are creeping towards 30k, which is the next target. And with your help, I think we can all get there. Please make sure that is the first thing you do before you go into the chat. Hit the subscribe button. Once you've subscribed, which is absolutely free, you can hit the like button and that will do this video and channel absolutely no ends of favors. So please make sure you hit those two buttons. They're absolutely free. Listen, people, there's a lot of news. And if you haven't checked out last night's show, please make sure you do. The reason I say that is because the news broke of Darwin Nunez rumours to Arsenal. And everybody had a little bit of a meltdown on the panel, including myself. So please make sure you go check that one out last night. It will not let you down. Towards the end of the show, we were all discussing why Darwin Nunez to Arsenal would not be a good look. Hopefully, it's just rumours and they're fake. That's what I hope. Some people are for it. Some Arsenal fans are saying this will be a great sign and Arteta will turn his career around. I think everyone wants Arteta to do what he's done with Havertz to everybody. We need to win the title, not trying to get rubbish players good. So we're going to talk on that more. We're going to talk about Ivan Toney and where he looks to be going. We're going to be talking about Raheem Sterling and Jadon Sancho. We're going to be talking about Arsenal rumours, signings finally, and also some new rumours as we look for a forward in the last coming days. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the other clubs in and around the Premier League. So kick back, do yourself a favour. Relax, get your brew, get your drink. We're going to go through all of the morning's transfer news on this morning transfer news show. And what I also want to say is please go and show Manscaped some love. There's a lot of you that have been messaging me saying that they have received the Manscaped Beard Hedger. Please make sure you go and sort out yourself the beard trimmers. No, not below the belt. We are talking about the face. So make sure you're going over to manscaped.com. If you use the code FTM20, you'll get 20% off of the Beard Hedger, which is fantastic, to be fair, at the moment. I've got one. A lot of people know I've got one. Lots of people have been messaging me saying, actually, this is a superb product. So please make sure you do that. Manscaped, they are fantastic, to be fair. They have been expensive, which is why, of course, we get the discount. So please make sure you go and get yourself the best beard trimmers around, which is the Beard Hedger at the moment. All of the gradient settings needed in that video trailer. So please make sure you do that. So please go and get yourself the Beard Hedger, FTM20, 20% off. Let's get into it, shall we? There's a lot to talk about, trust me. I'm smiling because I just cannot believe last night's breaking news. Rumours of Darwin Nunez. We're going to get into that, trust me. But first of all, we're going to go to Chelsea because Ivan Toney is being linked with a move. Now, Chelsea have been linked in the last few days with different strikers. We know and have seen that they do want a forward. They've only really got Nicholas Jackson and João Felix now that's been brought in that can play up top. Broja looking to leave. They've let a lot of other players go. It is only him that they have got. So Toney is being linked with a move. Now, Chelsea have made a move for the 28-year-old. Brentford have said that he's going to be going. The Blues will not be able to match the wages on offer from the Saudi Arabian club Al Hilal. Apparently, Toney is reportedly earning up to £400,000 a week in the Saudi Pro League. That is the offer from Al Hilal, who are interested in Toney also. So Chelsea, are they going to go for Ivan Toney? Well, it looks as if he is not the only striker that they are interested in, because there are reports suggesting that Osimhen is willing to snub the Saudi Pro League to sign for Chelsea. So Chelsea have definitely got their eyes on a striker, but which one? Toney would be a cheaper option for Chelsea. Osimhen would be more expensive, but probably one that they see as their future centre forward. But also, if none of those happen, John Duran from Villa is being linked again with Chelsea this morning, and that could be very interesting because that is a player who, let's be real, they were linked with a few weeks ago now. They've identified Duran as an alternative to Osimhen if they fail to sign the Nigerian, but not just him. Are they going to get Duran? Are they going to get Osimhen? Or are they going to get Ivan Toney? Chelsea are going to get one of these strikers. I just don't know which one it will be. Now, let's be real about this. Which of those is actually an option that you would 100% take if you're a Chelsea fan? Which is the risk? Well, John Duran's a risk. Yes, he's playing in the Premier League, but he's a youngster. He hasn't really done it for Villa. He's come on and scored a few goals, but he's not a regular starter ahead of Watkins, so that would be a risk. Osimhen would be a risk because he's from a different league. He's a lot of money and he's got injury records. And let's be real, if you're talking about strikers on form, Osimhen isn't really one of the players that you'd look at as potentially on form right now. But Ivan Toney, although he's not bagged 20 goals like the season before, he was never going to with 8 months out. 20k a week, we found out he was on last night. That is insane. You could pay him 70k a week and he'd be happy. And he'd probably cost you 45, 50 million, no more than that. So he's cheaper than Osimhen, he's cheaper on wages, and he's less of a risk. I think Ivan Toney works out perfectly for Chelsea, and I'm stunned that nobody else is going in for him. I would have to say Liverpool and Manchester United are two teams that absolutely should be going for Ivan Toney. Liverpool need a number 9 because Jota's made of glass. Manchester United, I don't rate Xerxes or Hal Højlund to score them 20 goals, but I do Toney. And Chelsea, let's be real, they've got Nicholas Jackson, who, let's be real, is probably better from the wing because he's not a number 9. He's not a finisher. So what do Chelsea do? They've got options, absolute options. But that's players coming in. What on earth is happening to players coming out? And Chelsea, I've said this before, I don't quite understand what they're doing. I certainly don't know what's going on with Raheem Sterling. This guy is on 300k a week plus, and he is not wanted by the club. There are many Premier League clubs that have inquired about Raheem Sterling. Aston Villa have been one. Rumours of West Ham and Palace. Arsenal were looking at Newcastle. Arsenal and Newcastle were looking at Raheem Sterling. And of course, Manchester United. And it looks as if Manchester United are actually the favourites. Now, this one makes sense because Manchester United need wide players. It might not make sense because you might think it's a bad signing, or you might think that it's not for what Manchester United need. But if you look at what Manchester United have got Anthony, Garnacho, Amid Diallo, and Rashford. None of those are on fire. Diallo's probably the best on form right now. He's had a good pre-season and started the season well. Other than that, the rest of it's a mess. Garnacho, I think, is actually a really good player, but not a lot of Manchester United fans have faith that Ten Hag will start him. Rashford has been stinking the joint out for about 12 to 18 months now. And when you look at what Anthony has done at Manchester United, it's been a shambles. So I totally understand why Man United are linked with Raheem Sterling. And it would be a signing that I think would probably allow Man United fans to be on the fence with because he's very inconsistent. Raheem Sterling is an incredibly frustrating player. Talk to Chelsea, Liverpool and City fans about it. They'll say, oh yeah, he looks good from outside. But when you're actually watching him week in, week out, he is incredibly frustrating. I wouldn't want him at Arsenal. Some people have said, yes, go get him on loan. Go get him as cover for Saka. Not for me. Not for me. I personally would not want to be seeing Raheem Sterling in an Arsenal shirt. But Manchester United are linked. And the reason they're linked is not just because they want Sterling. It's because Chelsea are sniffing around Jadon Sancho. Now, could there be an incredible last-minute swap deal? Sterling to Manchester United, Sancho to Chelsea. I personally do not think this is a good move for Jadon Sancho if he was to go to Chelsea. I really don't think this is a good move. And I'll tell you why I don't think it's a good move. Jadon Sancho has come from a very toxic environment at Manchester United, which is not very settled and at the moment has had a lot of change. He's fallen out with Ten Hag, it's quite clear, and he needs somebody to love him again. I don't think Chelsea is the club to be loving players at the moment. You see how they're treating some of their own. You see how they're treating some of the lads at Cobham. And Jadon Sancho needs the first team football, and I don't think he's going to be guaranteed that at Chelsea. Because on the right-hand side, Noni Madueke has just scored a hat-trick. Pedro Neto's been brought in. On the other side, they've obviously got Nicholas Jackson, who's going to be playing over there that they seem to rate. Mudryk, who's a player who they seem to want to try and get the best out of. Where is Jadon Sancho going to play? With a striker coming in up top, João Felix still there, who is actually going to be able to deliver at at Chelsea first team football? I don't think anyone is guaranteed first team football. Now, some Chelsea fans might think that's good because it's great competition. I think this would be a terrible move for Jadon Sancho. I think Raheem Sterling will get a better deal out of this because he's guaranteed to play on that right-hand side with Rashford on the left. But with Jadon Sancho going to Chelsea, I don't know where he fits in. That's why I would be absolutely his agent screaming in his ears to say, go to Juventus, who apparently are very much interested in Jadon Sancho. It's not just him. Bayern Munich and Dortmund are monitoring the situation as well, according to TalkSport. And it would not surprise me, and I've said this all along, if Jadon Sancho just doesn't go and get himself a permanent move to Borussia Dortmund. It suits him. He plays well there. He suits the league. It's where he's loved. The fans absolutely love Jadon Sancho there. I think it might be time. And I personally think that would be a great move. I really do. I do not personally believe that it would be any good for him going to Chelsea. I just think it would be a bad move. I really do. So let's see. There's definitely some interest there for sure. Also, moving away from Chelsea, there's interest in this player. Now, Calvert-Lewin has been a player who seems to be around forever. I don't actually know how old he is at the moment. I think he's 27. So Newcastle, Manchester United are looking at late moves for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yes, he's 27. He's out of contract in the summer at Everton. But for me, it needs to be a player that stays at Everton. And I'll tell you why. I think he's the only chance they've got of scoring goals. Everton could quite easily go down this season. They've lost Onana. There's rumours Jared Brantwaite might be going. If they lose Calvert-Lewin as well, I just don't see how they stay up. And Sean Dyche is a master at keeping teams up, but eventually went down with Burnley. And Everton, they're looking in a sorry state. They are desperate to stay in the Premier League for their new move to their stadium. I just don't know if they can do it this season. And listen, I had Leicester, Southampton and Forest going down because I like the business that Ipswich have done. But it could be Ipswich, Forest or Everton. And I don't see anyone else in that relegation fight. Some people are saying Wolves. I don't see it. But personally, Calvert-Lewin needs to stay at Everton for me if they want any chance of staying up, because he is the only player who can get their goals. Newcastle, why do they want Calvert-Lewin? Well, Callum Wilson is just definitely not fit enough, is he? And Isak is the only one they've got. What I'd love to say is to tell you all that Isak's leaving. They're getting Calvert-Lewin and Callum Wilson and the young lad from Sheffield United, and Isak's coming to Arsenal. That's what I'd absolutely love to tell you. I just don't see that happening, I'm afraid. Let's move to Liverpool from Everton. Man United and Newcastle very much interested in Calvert-Lewin. Liverpool very interested in Chiesa. It looks like this actually could be getting done. Liverpool are working hard to complete the signing of the Juventus and Italy forward Federico Chiesa. He's only 26, by the way. They're working hard, the Athletic says, to get this done before the transfer window closes. Now, this is a player who, if fit, could be a very important signing for Liverpool. I'll say that now. However, his injury record is terrible. His injury record is abysmal. And he's a player that now is probably broken at the age of 26. However, I'm not going to say that he's dusted. I'm not going to say that he's finished. I'm not going to say that this is a player that isn't going to do well. But honestly, I personally feel like if they got the best out of him, it could be a good signing. I really do believe it could have been a good signing. Liverpool do need a wide player because I know that they've got them. They haven't got a replacement for Salah. They haven't got a left winger that's absolute dead cert in playing. And maybe if Chiesa's fit, he could be that guy. He could be that guy. I know they've got Diaz. I know they've got Gakpo. I know Nunez can play there as well. But for me, they need a left winger. They need a left back. They need a number 6. They need a centre back. And they need a number 9. And they ain't getting any of them, it seems, at the moment. Liverpool have had a very poor window. Very, very poor window. I don't understand it. I do not understand it at all. So that's that. Let's move. Tammy Abraham. He definitely wants out of Roma. Roma are apparently open to selling him. He's only 26 years old. And apparently West Ham are interested. Now, West Ham have signed Fulkrug. They've got Antonio still. They want to get rid of Danny Ings. If West Ham were to get Tammy Abraham, it would be a phenomenal signing. I have always rated him. I think he's criminally underrated. I don't think he's going to go and be the next Harry Kane by any means. But at 26, he's a very good signing. I thought he was really good at Chelsea. He was definitely good when he went on loan at Villa. I thought he could, when he went on loan to Roma and then signed for Roma, I thought he could have been something pretty special. He got the most goals in internationally in the season before last, I think it was, or it might have been the season before that. But it was about 23, 24, and he was absolutely smashing it at Roma. And I thought, you know what? This is a player. And when Arsenal was sniffing around Champions League place, Champions League fight, I thought Arsenal might be in for him. And I believe that we were in for him. I've always liked him. I think he'd be a phenomenal signing for West Ham. I really do. I think he'd be a top player for West Ham. So that one could be very interesting. So Roma, very much interested in listening to offers. Could be very interesting to see where he goes. And that one we need to keep an eye on. West Ham in for Tammy Abraham. Do me a favour, people. There's just under 600 of you in. Make sure you hit the like button, please. See how many likes we've got. How many of you not hit the like button? Wow. Almost 500 of you have not hit the like button. We've only just hit 100 likes. Please make sure you do me a favour, people. You can do better than that. If you are liking these morning shows and you want me to continue them, please do me a favour by showing your appreciation by hitting like and subscribe. It's only 2 buttons that take 2 seconds, and it really does take only a couple of seconds. And it's free. It's free. So please make sure you do that. People are now listening. There we go. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that by hitting the like button. Let's talk about this guy, shall we? Arsenal and Man United were linked with Brian Brobby from Ajax, but it looks now as if Nottingham Forest are looking at him before the window closes. That's according to the Daily Mirror. Now, Nottingham Forest have been looking at a lot of strikers. They thought they had Eddie. That's collapsed. They thought they had Jimenez from Feyenoord. That's collapsed. And now they're going for 22-year-old striker from Ajax, Brian Brobby. This is a player who was very highly rated. It's not one that I knew much about until we were linked with him. I started to look at a few of his goals, and he's got potential. He's only a 22-year-old, so he's only the same age as somebody like Martinelli or Saka. You forget how young some of these footballers are. This could be an interesting signing for Forest. I'm not so sure why Nottingham Forest are desperate to sign a striker when they do have Taiwo Awoniyi and Chris Wood. Maybe one of those is leaving, but they are looking at Brian Brobby, and I believe he can play off the wing as well. So this could be a good signing for Nottingham Forest should this one get done. That could be very interesting. Listen, we're in a situation at the moment where there's a lot of strikers out there, but my goodness, where has the talent gone? I'm talking about Tammy Abraham and Brian Brobby here. You know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Where are the number 9s? Where are the centre forwards? No disrespect to those players, by the way, but my goodness, where's the talent, man? Where are the strikers gone? Let's talk about this guy, shall we? Because Ipswich Town are doing a madness this summer. They are buying in players that are all Premier League proven or very exciting indeed with experience. Ipswich Town are in advanced talks to sign the Republic of Ireland winger Ogbene. He's 27, by the way, from Luton. Now, last season, this has come from Athletic. Last season, he was one of Luton's better players. He's a top talent and one that I rated very highly. And I think he'll do a very good job for Ipswich. Now, they've already got Amari Hutchinson. They've already got Sammy Smodics. They've got Jack Clark. They're bringing in Ogbene. They are definitely adding quality to their squad, not just their first 11. They've brought in Calvin Phillips on loan. They've brought in Ben Johnson. They brought in Jacob Greaves. They brought in Muric in goal. They've brought up top Liam Delap. The Broya move has fallen through, but they are going for other players as well. Ipswich Town are flying. Fair play. Ipswich are also bringing in the Burnley striker Lyle Foster on loan with an obligation to buy of around £20 million. Again, a player who knows where the net is in the Championship and did look like one of Burnley's most promising strikers last season, although that didn't say much. Ipswich are looking to now get him and add him to the squad as well. Wow. Ipswich Town under Kieran McKenna are absolutely flying in the transfer window. What does that mean for them for the Premier League? Well, potentially, you can sometimes buy too many players. I just hope that Kieran McKenna has got enough to actually give it a good go, is what I'll say. They will be aiming for 17th place. That's what they'll be doing. Ipswich won't care about trophies this season. They'll go out of them all early, I'm sure, and they'll concentrate on that 17th place because staying in the Premier League is absolutely so vital. And lastly, before we move to Arsenal, Ugarte has completed his move to Manchester United. Now, I actually think this is a good signing. A lot of people see it as potentially not. I actually think it's a good signing. I do. I feel like Ugarte Kobe Mainu and Bruno Fernandes actually complement each other. They've still got Mason Mount there as well. I don't think Kobe Mainu needs to be overplayed this season, and I think Mason Mount needs to be coming in and out, chopping and changing. I think Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes are going to show that experience, and they're going to be able to give, I think, the roles of a 6 and a 10 complementary to Kobe Mainu and Mason Mount at Manchester United. I expect the Manchester United midfield to be pretty strong this season, if I'm honest. So that's all the other clubs. Of course, I've saved the best to last. I'm a gooner, so I'm going to say that. There's a bit of Arsenal news. And my goodness, what on earth is going on at Arsenal? Let's break it down. First of all, I've been showing this picture for about 6 or 7 weeks. Since we were rumoured to be linked with him, since we were heavily linked with him, since we were told it was close, since we were told it was imminent, since we were told he'd signed, since we were told his medical's been done, and now Mikel Merino, we can finally say, is a gooner. The number 23 shirt he is wearing, Mikel Merino is an Arsenal player. And let's be real, guys, that kind of suits him, that shirt, doesn't it? I think this player could actually be quite an exciting one. Now, hear me out. I've been told by people that watch La Liga he's nothing special. I've been told by people that have watched him before that he's a player that's a little bit meh. I've been told that he's not going to move the needle. He's not going to win Arsenal the title. Do you know what? I like all those things. Why? Because there's absolutely no pressure on him. With a signing of around £30 million, a signing that's coming with an experienced head of 28 that knows the league pretty well in Spain, but also has got experience in England, that has just won the Euros, that's got some attributes I think we need, that can actually fill the boots of a Granit Xhaka that's actually not been replaced, that actually can play in a box-to-box midfield role at number 8. I think this has got everything about it that's quite exciting. Now, let me say this. I don't think he's going to go and win us the league. I think we need more than that, right? But let's just be real. I personally feel this would be an all right signing. So Mikel Merino is finally a gooner. And I think as well with Mikel Merino, what people haven't spoken about is that actually he's got experience previously with Martin Ødegaard. So he knows him very well from his time at Real Sociedad. I also believe as well that there's an opportunity for him to complement the game of our left-hand side with Calafiori and Timber, who I think will settle in at left back. I think we've got an opportunity for Martinelli and Trossard to get into the game even more when that left-hand side is settled. And I think Mikel Merino absolutely is somebody who we should be excited about. So let's get behind him. Let's give him 110%. And I don't expect to see him until after the international break now. I think he'll get into the mix. I think like Calafiori, both of those we'll start to see from the Tottenham and Man City game onward. So for Brighton at the weekend, I don't expect him to start, but maybe he'll shock us. I don't know. We'll see. What is happening with Reiss Nelson? Well, apparently, according to Gunnerblog, Arsenal have spent the summer exploring a move for Reiss Nelson. Reiss Nelson has also himself and his agent been exploring a summer move away from Arsenal. But with Fabio Vieira being allowed to leave on loan, there's now a significant chance that he could stay. So Reiss Nelson could actually be a player that remains at the club. Now, I do not believe that to be true. I think in the last couple of days, there'll be a club that comes in and bids a loan offer with an obligation. And as long as that obligation is around 15 to 20 million, I think we'll accept it. And I think it could be a good player for someone. 24 years old, can play on the right and left wing. He's definitely got some experience in the Premier League. And when he does come on, he always gives 110% and actually looks like he's going to make something happen. I think Reiss, if we kept him, I wouldn't be upset about it. But would that mean that potentially a winger is not coming in? A couple of people suggesting that Fulham are interested in Reiss Nelson. I think that'd be a very good move. So let's see what happens. What's going to happen with a winger at Arsenal? We need a wide player. We've been linked with everybody under the sun. We've been linked with all 3 of the Bayern Munich wingers. Gnabry, Coman, Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling's been linked. Bakayoko's been linked. Eze's been linked. Yilmaz has been linked. We've got the guy from Club Brugge yesterday that was linked. But the one we want is Nico Williams. Now, there is absolutely no doubt that Mikel Arteta has made it very, very clear, and the Athletic are reporting today, that this is our number 1 target, and he has been a long-term target. It says, in an ideal world, Arteta would like another forward player. Arsenal, however, are realistic about what might be possible in the remaining days. The long-term target is Nico Williams, but he is perceived to be unattainable this time around. So it looks as if, although we want Nico Williams at Arsenal, it won't be possible. Now, the reason is, it isn't because he doesn't want Arsenal. It isn't because Arsenal don't want to pay the money. It isn't any of that. From what we can understand, Nico Williams wants to stay at Athletic Bilbao for one more year. I don't know what he's on wage-wise, but I think he's probably going to want or demand when he comes to Arsenal, or if he comes to Arsenal, close to what Havertz is on, which is just under £300,000 a week. He will be a starter, though. With Nico Williams on the left and Saka on the right, you've got Trossard and Martinelli there that can be the cover. I think it would be a phenomenal signing, and I would absolutely love in the last remaining days for us just to be ambitious. £49 million release clause. Just go release it. Activate that release clause, spending £49 million, which we clearly have now that we're selling some of these players, and just see what Nico Williams says. If Atletico Bilbao turn around and go, there you go, we've had to accept it, it's been activated, over to you, Nico. He can then decide whether he wants to go to Arsenal or if he wants to stay in Spain. There was rumours he wants to go to Barcelona. Sounds like he actually wants to stay in Spain at Athletic Bilbao for one more year. Could Arsenal try to tempt him away? I think it would be a brilliant last couple of days. If we could get him in, I think it would be a perfect signing. I really do. So let's see what interest we have on Nico Williams. The goalkeeping situation at Arsenal needs sorting out. Aaron Ramsdale is, of course, being linked with moves away, and it looks as if there could be potential for Arsenal to do some business here. The Athletic are reporting that Arsenal are hoping to sign at least one goalkeeper before the transfer window closes. They would like a replacement for Aaron Ramsdale, who looks like he could be going on loan. At the moment, it doesn't look like it's an obligation to buy unless he goes to Southampton, and the only way that will be an obligation is if they stay in the Premier League, which is very, very, well, I think highly unlikely. So it would just be a loan with an option if they went down to the Championship. Wolves are interested in a loan with an option. There's been rumours of Ajax being interested also, and of course Nottingham Forest. But at the moment, ideally, we would like it to be a permanent move with money. Juan Garcia is expected to be the replacement. Now, it looks as if Juan Garcia from Espanyol would be coming into Arsenal should Aaron Ramsdale leave. But there are also reports that Arsenal want another goalkeeper this window. We haven't got much time left here, guys. But we are wanting Juan Garcia as well as an experienced homegrown goalkeeper who can be the third choice. Now, we have signed Tommy Setford. He is an 18-year-old who would be homegrown. But the other player that has been linked previously is Wolves goalkeeper Dan Bentley. Now, we actually insulted them by offering about £50,000. But listen, they want close to £1 million. If we was to go up to, I don't know, £500,000, I'm sure that we'd get him. If they really want him as the third choice to get a homegrown quota along with Thomas Setford, then go get it done. But this is not an exciting transfer. This is not something I like. The reason I don't like it is because I feel like we are downgrading from what was Raya and Ramsdale. We're now looking at potentially Raya, Juan Garcia, Dan Bentley and Thomas Setford. Now, don't get me wrong. That's a nice little chronological order there of who's our academy and one that's promising, who's our third choice for homegrown quota, who's going to come in and be the number two, and who's going to be the number one. I think everybody will understand their roles, and it's not going to be a fight for the number one jersey like it has been this season, because that has caused some issues. But actually, if Aaron Ramsdale, we're not getting any money for him, I'd rather just keep him, personally. Don't loan him out and allow somebody to actually have a chance of having a fantastic goalkeeper there and then going, yeah, we can't afford 30 million, but cheers for the season. We'll have him on loan again if you want. Nah. It's got to be a loan with a permanent move. So that's the goalkeeping situation. Talking of goalkeepers, Mr. Wojciech Szczesny has decided that it is time for him to hang up his boots or his gloves, whatever way you look at it. A goalkeeper that I thought actually could have had another season or two out of him, but 34 years old, the former goalkeeper Szczesny has officially announced his retirement from professional football at the age of 34. We wish him all the best on his next chapter. A goalkeeper that I actually quite liked. Yeah, he got a bit big for his boots and a bit cocky, and perhaps we needed to let him go. But actually, it's a player that I thought did very well in an Arsenal shirt. So good luck to him. I thought he could have got another job, to be fair, at number two. And there was a rumour that he was going to come back to Arsenal or go to Saudi, but it looks like he's decided now to call it a day. One player that definitely has moved out of Arsenal, though, is Eddie Nketiah. Now, we saw the rumours with Forest. That collapsed. We saw then the rumours with other Premier League clubs. That then collapsed. And then it got to a stage that after we thought we might not be able to sell him, with Marseille, Forest and other Premier League clubs interested, he has finally signed for Crystal Palace. And I must say, that home shirt is absolutely superb. It's absolute fire. So Eddie Nketiah has gone. Crystal Palace. It's a loan move with an obligation, £25 million. £5 million add-ons if they get into Europe, including the Conference League. So let's be real, we didn't actually get that much money, more money than we did from Marseille, but we've got him done. He's gone. He stayed in the Premier League. He stayed in London. He wanted Crystal Palace. Apparently, there was rumours suggesting that he dropped Nottingham Forest because they weren't paying him enough. Apparently, it's rubbish. He wanted Crystal Palace. He wanted to stay in London, and it was a better deal he felt at Crystal Palace. So fair play to him. They are looking to, of course, sell Edouard back to, I believe, Celtic. So they will have Mateta and Eddie Nketiah up front at Palace. So I believe he can have a run of games, and I think he can score goals at Crystal Palace. That's for sure. So see what Eddie Nketiah can do. Now, we come to the forwards. Arsenal need a forward. Arsenal want a forward. If it's not going to be a winger like Nico Williams, it is going to be a striker. Who on earth could it be? Well, the rumours are suggesting last night that Arsenal want Darwin Nunez. Now, this has come from a very unreliable source, and I don't think this is true. But it broke last night at 9:45 in the evening from AFC Amden that Arsenal are interested in signing Darwin Nunez before Friday's transfer deadline. The player is keen to move to London and work under Mikel Arteta. He wants to win trophies, and Liverpool are willing to sell. Improbable, but not impossible. Now, this absolutely went mad last night. There was absolutely no chance in hell that anyone was going to be excited about this one. If this one happens, I will be so shocked and stunned. How many people want this? Let me ask you in the chat. How many people want Darwin Nunez? Just say yes or no in the chat. And say no as loud as you like and yes as loud as you like. I'm genuinely interested. Because there's so many people on Twitter that are now saying this would be brilliant. What a signing this would be. Arteta can turn him around. Arteta can do what he's done with Kai Havertz. Arteta can go and turn him into a 50-goal-a-season striker. I'm thinking, this guy in front of goal cannot hit a barn door. I don't care if you think he causes chaos from the left. Go play him on the left then. But there's no way we need him. He is absolutely awful in front of goal. He's as bad as Nicholas Jackson at trying to put the ball in the back of the net in front of goal. He can do everything pretty on the left-hand side. He can cause havoc, cause chaos, cause mayhem. That's fine. But let's be real. Who wants this guy? I've got so many no's in the chats. However, I've got quite a lot of yeses. Jason the Truth says, yes, we'll have him. Red Vision says, yes, we'll have him. Maybe that's because he's a Liverpool fan. SW96, yes. Gareth says, yes. CS says, yes. What is going on here? So many people saying, yes. People want Darwin Nunez. Really? Over Gyökeres, over Osimhen, over Toney, over Isak? Do we really want Darwin Nunez? Come on. There's a lot of people said that there was, let's talk about, what striker would suit Arsenal. Darwin Nunez, there's absolutely no way that I can see this happening. How much is he going to be? He was 85 million, wasn't he, when Liverpool signed him? They can probably get about 35 for him now. Absolutely terrible. Honestly, I do not think that those are the Liverpool fans, Dan. There we go. I thought they were, I must say. I have absolutely no want of Darwin Nunez coming to Arsenal. There's no way I want that to be the case. I actually go as far to say, as if we do that, I think Mikel Arteta and Edu need to seriously look at themselves, because that is not getting us across the line. Arsenal are not in a position to try and experiment getting the best out of players. Arsenal are in a position to get players in that are ready to hit the ground running. Declan Rice, he's ready. Mikel Merino, he's ready. Calafiori just come from the Euros, he's ready. Timber, like a new signing, he's ready. We bought in Raya, he was Premier League proven, he was going to be ready. At the back, we've got Saliba and Gabriel. We've obviously got Ben White, they're ready to go. The players that we bought in, believe it or not, Kai Havertz, as much as he's turned him around, he's ready to go now. At the time, nobody wanted it because it was like, we ain't got time to waste 6 months. And guess what happened? We wasted the best part of 3 months playing him in midfield. What are we going to do with Darwin Nunez up top if it was to get him? If we got Darwin Nunez, we waste 3 months waiting for him to score. Somebody put a brilliant thing on Twitter last night saying the XG before with Havertz, Jesus and Darwin Nunez, and there was just a bloke holding a gun to his head. Listen, this is definitely not a player that I want. Loads of Liverpool fans are saying, go for it. Go for it. Go and get him. What does that say about Darwin Nunez? This is their player. They don't want him. They want him to be, see you later. Now, people will throw that back at me. Nobody wanted Havertz at Chelsea. Everybody wanted him to go. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't mean Darwin Nunez is going to be a Havertz and go and prove everyone wrong. I can't see this one happening. I really can't. Who's this? This is a Liverpool fan. No composure, always offside, can't hit a barn door. Nunez is misunderstood. Take him. These are Liverpool fans that do not want him. This is telling you everything you need to know, people. There is absolutely no way I want Darwin Nunez at Arsenal. It would be an absolutely crazy signing. This is one of the worst signings of the window if it happens. Now, since then, there's been a lot of reports suggesting this is fake. There's been a lot of reports suggesting that AFC Hamden definitely is not a reliable source. And he previously has stated that we are signing Curtis Jones. He's previously stated that we are getting Patrick Vieira back as a manager. He's also made comments to say that we are signing players that have never come to fruition. So I pray and I hope that it is made up and it is a joke. I think that is the case. I don't think Arsenal are in for Darwin Nunez. But my goodness, if we were, I'd be having serious words if I saw Mikel Arteta and Edu thinking, why? So let's be real for the last section. Who are we getting then? If we're not getting one of these guys that we believe is unattainable, like Nico Williams, Alexander Isak, because they're the two that we want, right? If I said to you, you could have a winger and a forward in the next few days, who do you want? Everyone's telling me Isak and Nico Williams. Am I wrong? Maybe Eze might be thrown in there. In fact, I'd like all three because Eze covers for Odegaard, Nico Williams covers for Saka, and up top you got Isak. They'd be the three best. Now, we don't have 300 million to go and spend on those players, but what we do know is that they're the three that everybody would like. But who are we getting? Because I've seen so many links, I have absolutely no idea who is coming to Arsenal. And there's so many ITKs out there and so many players that are linked, it starts to get confusing. And believe it or not, doing these shows every single morning, I'm sitting there thinking, what is all this information I'm receiving here? This is very hard to put out there. Because at the moment, we're being linked with so many wingers and so many forwards. And we might actually get to the end of this window and not have any of them. We might actually get to the end of this window with Calafiori and Merino and people saying Timber's a new signing. I think we will sort the goalkeeper situation out in the next couple of days. And I think there will be a home for Reece Nelson. I think that he will go. And I think that we will potentially get at least one, maybe two in the next couple of days. That might be very ambitious, though. It might be. We might not have time to go and get two players in. Do you know why? Because it took us bloody 7 or 8 weeks to get 2 players in. Now we've got to try and get 2 more players in 3 days. This shuts on Friday evening, right? Friday evening. We're in Wednesday now. We've got the whole of today, tomorrow and Friday to sort this out. And someone has to be coming in. Now, I wonder if we're going to go and do a madness. And what I mean by that is not we're going to go and throw money on Isak. Maybe we're going to go and do a madness which suggests that we're going to go in for somebody that we've not even spoken about yet. Maybe we'll go and get a striker that you think, whoa, where did that come from? Maybe Arsenal will go and slam some money down on Evan Ferguson from Brighton. Maybe Arsenal will go and say to Brighton, do you know what? We'll take Adingra and Ferguson. Here's X amount of money. Maybe we'll go over to a French, German or Italian league and go, here you go. We've slapped down money on this forward. I don't know. All I will say is I do not want our window to end with Darwin Nunez and Raheem Sterling. And that is where I'm going to end it. People, you've been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much this morning. Close to 900 of you in, which is absolutely mad numbers. So thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. Please make sure that you hit the like button because we have only hit 240 likes. Please make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe. And please make sure that you go and show Manscaped some love. The code FTM20 will get you 20% off of the beard hedger. So please make sure you select the beard hedger, which is under the beard and face section. Beard hedger, add it to your cart. When you go to checkout, you use the code FTM20 and you'll get 20% off. There is a super chat, of course, from Cal's Corner. I'm actually scared that we don't sign a forward, not only for the season, but what it means about our owners moving forward. And I'll tell you this. This is a great super chat. Big up to Cal's. The ownership, I don't think, are the issue in this window unless it closes and we've done nothing more. Because this PSR thing is nonsense, by the way, because we're selling players. We're not selling players to try and stay afloat here. This is Arsenal. We're not Wigan. If we don't go and sign the players, I will look at the ownership and say, where the hell's the money then? Because we've spent a net spend of about £10 million if we've sold Eddie and Smith Rowe and bought Calafiori and Merino in. Please, people, honestly, get an understanding. The Cronkies need to back this summer. This is the most important summer. If we don't sign a forward, we ain't winning no title. Manchester City have strengthened. They're bringing in a forward. They've got Gundogan back. They've brought in Savio. And everybody told me last season they'll miss Gundogan and Mahrez. Well, guess what? They've got them back. Savio looks like Mahrez and Gundogan is Gundogan. With a striker up top to replace Alvarez, last time they had a squad similar to that, what did they do? Yep, they won a treble. And this season, they ain't got no Club World Cup championship to worry about. So in the League Cup, they went out last season quite early because of that to Newcastle. They're going to do that this season. Trust me. Needs to happen. Big up for the super chat, man. I much appreciate it. Listen, people, make sure you show Manscaped some love. I'll show you the video so you know how to go over there to manscaped.com. FTM20 is the code that you need. I'll be back this evening a little bit earlier than usual at 6 p.m. You do not want to miss this. At 6 p.m., your favourite show is back. It's This Is London. D versus Lawless. My goodness, is it going to go off? Make sure you're there. 6 p.m, people. See you later. Take it easy.
Yes, people, Manscaped is back. But this time, it's not for below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped brings to you the Beard Hedger, the best product on the market when it comes to beard trimmers. The Beard Hedger is unique due to its number of gradient settings. As someone who's purchased this, I won't turn to any other beard trimmer. Check it out for yourself at manscaped.com. And don't forget to use code FTM20 to get 20% off of this product.